Welcome to the DVB interview program.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes. Firstly, please tell me what is the total number of victims in Myanmar, especially in landmine?
No one knows. The government here could not tell you how many landmine victims there are if they wanted to. The health system knows how many people they treated for trauma in a given year, how many trauma surgeries they've done. But we don't know. Were those people stepping on a mine, get hit by a car, fall out of a building? Nobody knows. Besides that, the healthcare system does not treat dead people, so you don't know how many people died from it either.
Yeah.
The Landmine Monitor, since 1999, has collected some numbers on some victims, and we've counted over 3,400 victims to this point in time. But that's just the number that we can count through news articles and reports from medical organizations and refugee assistance groups. It is not the total number.
Yeah, so difficult to count it.
Nobody knows at this point.
Yeah. And this year, landmine report mentioned some positive development. So
The key positive development that has occurred over the last year is that there is better victim assistance. There is more access for people to an artificial leg if they've lost their leg. There's more physiotherapy available. So there's been improvements in the things that people who have survived a landmine injury need. And that's primarily because Myanmar has signed the Convention on the Rights of Disabled People. And that's a very important international convention. It's important for the welfare of people who are disabled for whatever reason, including the landmine disabled. So access to things that survivors of a landmine incident need have improved within the country in the last year.
yeah, landmine is still a serious problem in Myanmar, especially in where?
We have found that there is pollution in at least 50 townships in 7 states and regions of Myanmar. We do not know how extensive that pollution is. That will only be known when clearance organizations can go in and do a technical survey to determine exactly what areas are dangerous and how big are they. But in at least 50 townships, there is some level of landmine pollution left over from the armed conflicts that have occurred in this country over the past 40 years.
Well, what kind of international assistance has been taken to Myanmar to clear landmine?
In 2012, President Thein Sein asked several visiting European delegations for financial assistance for Myanmar to clear mined areas. Many European countries have offered assistance. Unfortunately, there's been no start in clearance. Some of that money has been used to do mine risk education in the affected areas, and some of it has gone towards victim assistance that I was just talking about, which has improved. But really no clearance is going on the ground right now. And the authorities have said until the ceasefire agreement, the nationwide ceasefire agreement is completed and signed, there will be no clearance.
Your report mentioned that both government and ethnic use landmine. So which one more use landmine, government or ethnic force?
Nobody really knows. At different times within the conflict in the past years, one group would use more than the other depending on who's attacking and who's retreating and so forth. So we really don't know. It's at one time or another, one will use more, one will use less. The next year, the other one will use more, the other one will use less. The problem is they've used. And these get left over in the ground after the conflict. So when peace comes, the soldiers will go back to their barracks with their guns, but the mines will still be there, and civilian population will become victimized by these.
If Myanmar became mine ban treaty, who will get more benefit?
The people of the country will benefit from this because to invest in mine clearance is costly, it costs money, and it takes a lot of time to clear ground of anti-personnel mines. And many donors will be hesitant to engage in that process if mines could still be laid in the ground again. So once a government agrees to join the mine ban treaty, there will be no further use. They will not build the mines anymore. They will destroy their stockpiles. And then more donors will come to say, yes, we will help you clear it out of the ground.
We learned that you are also used to work with ethnic groups in the past on this issue. So are you still working with them?
Working would not be the appropriate term. The international campaign to ban landmines advocates for a landmine ban with any user. So the government of Myanmar and its armed forces or the ethnic armed groups and their militias are using the mine. We approach both sides and we say, this is not a good policy. You should halt using the landmine. So our advocacy towards both sides is the same.
So what is the connection between landmine and relocation of refugees in border areas?
The main agency that oversees the return of refugees is the UNHCR, the United Nations High Commission on Refugees. Their policy is they will never relocate refugees to an area that has a landmine hazard. They cannot do this for humanitarian reasons because of the danger they would be putting refugees in. So the clearance of areas before return of refugees is a high priority for everyone.
Lastly, question for me. Do you think political change in Myanmar will be a contributing factor to reduce landmine problem in long run?
Well, I really don't know. I would hope that it would. I would hope that future governments will recognize the humanitarian need to join the Mine Ban Treaty and to clear all the mines out of the ground for the welfare of the people of the country.
So what else do you like to add?
This is something that either the government or ethnic armed groups can do today. They can do it unilaterally. They don't have to wait on the other side. If the government says tomorrow they will join the Mine Ban Treaty and stop using mines, even if the ethnic groups are still using them, this is to their advantage, because what could be a better support to the peace process and to show the other side that you really mean what you say by saying, we will give up the use of this weapon that is causing suffering to the people of the country, and we invite you to do the same thing. This is good for the peace process.
So thank you for being with us in DBB interview.
Thank you for inviting me.